What's going on, everyone? How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Coming back for a little bit on this main channel, just make a couple of videos. I was pretty sick. I got the damn COVID, and I'm starting to record, and I wanna just put something out because I'm losing my mind. And also, I'm on my computer broke, and I'm on my laptop right now. If there's any lags in this webcam, it's because of that. This webcam doesn't seem to love the processor that's in here. You know, it's a little older one, but you know, it still works. But yeah, I want to talk about all the people that are big mad about Linkin Park, because there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of moving parts, and some of it's definitely justified in my opinion. Some of it I think is absolutely ridiculous. Like the anger. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. So they got the new singer, Linkin Park. Emily Armstrong is her name. She's from a band called Dead Sarah. Never heard of them. And a lot of people are like, "Who's this?" Whatever. Let's check it out. You know, let's see if she has the chops to replace Chester Bennington. It's been, I think it was like 7 years since Linkin Park last did anything, and mixed reviews. I mean, I think a lot of people were overly excited, but there was definitely mixed reviews, even including myself. Like you just see the different reactions all over. There's some people that really liked her, thought she did well in every aspect, and they were super excited, and they thought she was like a perfect choice. There were some other people that were maybe a little bit too negative, just completely dismissing her simply for being like a woman. I saw like those comments, and I'm like, okay, we don't really need to pay attention to those people. And then there was people like more sensible, kind of like me in the middle, where I'm like, yeah, she has a good voice. I didn't really understand why they were singing the classic Linkin Park songs in a different key. Like, say, a lot of the songs, like, say, this song is tuned like you're gonna tune your guitar, or it's like it's in the key of C sharp, you know? Linkin Park messes with C sharp quite a bit. And then, for some reason, they went up half a step. And I'm like, is this in D? This sounds like D. This doesn't sound good. It sounds off. It's one of those things that, like, bands do this every once in a while. They usually go a step down to preserve the singer's voice. Like if they're doing like big tours and they got to sing night in and night out, so they want to take it down like an octave or something, and then it kind of helps them. I don't really like that much. It kind of annoys me, to be honest. But I also understand why they do it. This is a little different because they went half a step up, and it's clearly just to accommodate her voice, which begs the question, why would they choose somebody who's not comfortable singing in the original keys? It's really weird, because I want to hear the song as it originally sounds. And so they could have picked anybody in the world, and they picked this person, and we'll speculate why they picked this person and a little later. But this is the choice they did. Came out with a new song called The Emptiness Machine. It was okay. I kind of liked it. I thought it was pretty catchy. Gave me Minutes to Midnight vibes, even the mixing and stuff, but at the end of the day, it's like, all right, we'll see what happens when the other album drops, and it kind of sounds more like something different and not necessarily Linkin Park to me. I'm just gonna take my glasses off for a sec. I think it makes my fucking face look way fatter, don't it? But anyway, so it was one of those things that somebody made a comment like, they were like, Audio Slave isn't Soundgarden or Rage Against the Machine. It's Soundgarden. Maybe Linkin Park should have went in that direction. Started like a side thing that has, obviously Linkin Park ties to it. Very reminiscent in certain ways. Like, say, obviously, Tom Morello's riffs in Audio Slave, you're like, you know who this is. You know what I'm saying? And there's no mistaking Chris Cornell, for example. And maybe going in that direction maybe would have been, like, kind of better. Less weird, less awkward. I don't know, but this is the direction that they went in. And so that was the extent of my criticism, and people that were being a little bit more charitable. But there's way crazier things at play that like are tied to Emily Armstrong that I first found out when I was first wanting to listen back to the live performances. I typed in Linkin Park Numb Emily Armstrong, and the first thing that came up in the search result on YouTube was Emily Armstrong tied to Scientology. And then I saw somebody else when I was criticizing Linkin Park for the live performance and going up half a step, they're in D or whatever in like a lot of the classics, somebody also put that in the replies on Twitter, and I'm like, I gotta look into this. This is what the hell is going on. So then I actually watched quite a bit of stuff, and it's like, okay, yeah, Emily Armstrong, deep ties to the Church of Scientology, born in it, like her family's tied to it, and the most controversial thing, not only being a part of that giant cult. She simped for Danny Masterson. She supported him when clearly he should not have been supported. And the worst thing was, she actually addressed this when a bunch of people got caught wind of this. And she was like, yeah, I was told to do this. I'm paraphrasing somewhat, but she also was like, I was told to like go to the thing. And once more stuff came out, like I just stopped supporting him. I made a big mistake, blah, 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 blah. But I'm like, no, all the information was out already. Who told you to go? Like, you're not even taking responsibility for just doing something. You went to support a friend, someone you considered a friend. That's what a lot of people did, and wrote all those letters or recommendations to take it easy on poor rapist Danny Masterson. You had freaking Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher writing stuff, and they got exposed. And it's just like, we see you. You didn't care until you got exposed. Then all of a sudden you learned it was wrong. I'm like, let me tell you something, man. I don't care how close I am to somebody. If they have all these allegations that they're sexually assaulting people, I'm not going to be friends with them anymore. I'm not going to support them. It doesn't matter who it is. I know there's like innocent, but it's like when there's smoke, there's fire too. I think it's totally okay to distance yourself when you hear there's multiple people coming out and say this person did all these horrible things to us. You don't have to be like, but I've known this person for 20 plus years. They would never. And I'm like, says every serial killer ever. I'm just saying, even if we're just going to, that's just like a layup, right? Like, oh, Ted Bundy. Remember that judge that sentenced him or whatever, or was like, oh man, in another life, you could have worked under me. You would have been a great like DA, or I forgot what he said exactly, but it was like, yo, this guy's a serial murderer, and you're saying this shit about him. So like, but just saying that, like a lot of people thought this guy Ted Bundy was so great. For example, this is not some one-to-one comparison, so people don't get it twisted. I'm just saying that for sure, that even if you think you really know someone, you may not truly know someone because you don't spend every waking moment with them, right? It's like, come on, guys, just use your brain a little bit. So, she definitely, that was not a good look on her. And there was other people that have come out to blast her. Like, I think it was the singer of the Mars Volta was like, yo, my girlfriend, or this person that I was dating was one of the women that was one of the accusers, and went hard in the paint on Emily, and saying she didn't even address any of the ties to Scientology. Maybe she should, because it's a problematic thing. It's been exposed quite a bit in documentaries. It's one of these things that's trying to see it's, really lend itself as like something really big, and and recruiting big ass celebrities to be a part of it. And it reminds me of that Hillsong church or whatever, Hillside or Hillsong, I think, whatever it was called, based out of Australia, that did just unspeakable things. And yes, to be fair, historically, religion, they've all done unspeakable things and are currently doing unspeakable things. And so it should all be called out. That is very true. But Scientology is one of those things that people are learning quite a bit, and it is not baked into history in a way that people feel weird disrespecting people's religions, So I think it's perfectly valid to have criticisms of somebody being actively a part of this church that has so many different shady ties to it. So that's a lot of things that people are saying, and a lot of people are trying to sweep that shit under the rug, and it's kind of crazy. Seeing people being very dismissive of people that are, first of all, upset that Chester was replaced at all. Like, personally, I would have been, with the right person, I don't mind. I'm even the person, like, say, clearly System of a Down, they can't settle their differences with Serge Tankian, and I think a long time ago they should have tried to replace him. Maybe it wouldn't have worked out, but I don't mind trying. I don't mind the trying. It's just like, say, with Linkin Park, I don't mind the trying. It's just, I feel like they really chose someone that just had no business being the lead. You know, I saw some YouTubers. I saw this one girl singing. I mean, a lot of people were sharing a lot of different covers, and people were just killing it. And I was like, damn, what about any of these people? But to be fair, Mike Shinoda did say it's not necessarily about the talent, it's about the person. And so Mike Shinoda really likes Emily Armstrong. And I feel like that's probably one of the main reasons why she was chosen, right? It was her and not about her skill, obviously, because they're accommodating for her voice, her range, and putting them up in the classics. So it's more about, I want you in the band, we'll accommodate for you. Weird to me, but not to Mike, and I guess the others seem okay with it. Some people are speculating Rob, the original drummer, he didn't return, and he was kind of distant. He's been distant for a while. Mike Shinoda talked about that. People are speculating that Rob wouldn't have been cool with how this went down. Rob has not said anything at all, so we can't speculate on that. But Chester Bennington's son, Jamie, he's come out and he's been trashing Mike all over Instagram. And so I find that actually very interesting that, like, he's basically kind of saying, like, this was the bad move, this was the wrong move. A lot of criticisms that people are having. He definitely feels like Mike Shinoda is just not taking that shit seriously at all. And he's kind of trying to just, like, with the PR move being like, if you disrespect me, I'm a disrespect you kind of a thing. I'm kind of paraphrasing, but it seems like Mike knew that this was going to be somewhat of an unpopular opinion, and he's just, like, doing what he's supposed to be doing, mostly just focusing on the positive vibes. And at the end of the day, most people, like most casual fans, most people aren't going to care this deeply about how problematic Emily Armstrong is or anything. So why even focus on that for real? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what industry it is, really. And like, say in another video I'd like to talk about, like, just if you become a fan of someone, a lot of people nowadays develop parasocial relationships more than ever. They feel like they know these people. They feel like they're so connected to these people that they're willing to, like, overlook so many things. And now that, like, say Emily is, joining this band that people care about so much, they're going to overlook a lot of stuff. And to be fair, there are other bands, other people that have just done way more egregious things. And at the end of the day, people don't care. I will say, at the very least, Linkin Park's not using a cancel culture. They're not outright, like, Emily hasn't said anything. None of the members of Linkin Park are saying, like, they're just trying to cancel us because XYZ, whenever and talk about cancel culture and woke, like that would make me want to throw up. But because there's been plenty of bands and plenty of acts, comedians, just artists, and just political people, like, and just using that stupid bullshit where it's like people criticizing you is not just trying to cancel you, dude. Like, it's crazy that people always try to be like, oh no, they're saying something about me, or they're trying to cancel me. I'm like, no, people are talking shit because they have a problem, and that should be fine. That should be fine. But for a lot of people, it's not, because they have, massive egos. And a lot of times massive egos are very fragile at the same time. But yeah, man, it's been kind of wild. And, it's going to be interesting to see how, like, a lot of the media is going to address a lot of this stuff moving forward. There's going to be people that are going to want to talk about this in a neutral way and bring as many clicks as possible. And I think that's fine. That's just what media has always been. And then I feel like there's going to be people that are going to just simp for Linkin Park and not trying to bring a lot of bad press to them, which I feel like that stuff's a little bit, it's dishonest, kind of lying by omission. It's not my favorite thing, but it's a part of it too. It's just what people do. They sweep and they do PR, and they want to make sure that, hey, maybe it'd be possible I can get a Linkin Park interview. Maybe I can talk to Mike Shinoda, like, they want to keep the door open, instead of being integral and be like, I'm just going to do my job or something. That's just a part of the game. It's not, I don't like it, personally, but that's just how it is, man. I could give you a bunch of examples on some of the most problematic people you would ever even think about, and you just see how their fan bases don't even care a little bit. It's just the way it is. So, yeah, people big mad, and at the end of the day, I don't think anything is going to happen. So it is what it is. It's just interesting to talk about. So, lastly, I just want to say, I want to know, the people that are watching this video, what do you think of Emily Armstrong as an artist? What do you think about her ties to the Scientology, to the church, if you care at all, or whatever? Did you think Linkin Park should have even should have kept going? And what do you think about all the controversies? What do you think about Chester's son, trashing Mike Shinoda? Because I feel like that's probably the most interesting thing about this. Because I'm like, oh, seems like the Bennington family may not be cool with this. Now, it may just be Jamie, but he's the only one that has said something so far. But it makes me think that, yeah, there's some other problems. And if you read some of the texts that he put out there, it seems like, oh yeah, there's some fallout between the Benningtons and the Shinodas, there's some stuff going on. So, and with Jamie speculating that Emily, they've been jamming with Emily way longer, and almost disrespectfully long. And this is something that has been an idea for much longer than Mike has been letting on. But who knows? But yeah, let me know what you guys think, and take care.